Foundations of Morality 1, Author, Jana. Chapter 13. Loving the Wonderful World of Plants. Tell me what you love and I will tell you how good your morality is. We have many decrees of love, love oneself only. This person has only one place to reach, hell, love one's own family, love one's own relatives as well, love one's own neighbors, and friends as well, love one's own colleagues, love other members in one's own association, religion, team, organization, love one's own country, love all humankind, love animals. Be a vegan now, and finally love the wonderful world of plants, trees, grass. Everyone has thought that vegetation is insentient, has no feeling, no thinking, and it resembles stone, so there is no need to love vegetation. Only people who discerning and shrewd can love vegetation. Trees are full of vitality. Many trees have lived thousands of years longer than a human lifetime. It is the vigorous vitality of trees which created the habitat for other kinds of animals. Humans are the pinnacle of life, not aware that they are walking on the life of plants. Vegetation has nurtured human life and coddled humankind. Anyone who understands about life must love our cradle, love our origin, and that is vegetation. Vegetation receives blazing sunshine to protect humankind, and turns sunlight energy into materials hidden for millions of years for the generations to come. It is very hot in summertime, but if we go through a forest, the air will be cooler right away. Trees have received the heat to give the coolness to others. Roots sprout downward into the deep ground to suck water up to the surface and help the existence of many other kinds on earth. There are trees, ponds, rivers, streams, lakes. Many planets store a great amount of water deep inside their ground, but they do not have trees to suck water up, so the surface of those planets do not have water for life. Our Earth has forests, so our Earth has water on the surface for all kinds of life to spring out. Each tree, each branch, each leaf, all are beautiful works of nature. When the season comes, flowers blossom splendidly, and the beauty of trees are incredible. Trees give fruits, and most fruits are edible for man and animal. If any fruit cannot be eaten, it will have some special medicinal value that can cure some kinds of disease. Wind stirs branches of trees, as if the trees are exercising with us. When a storm comes, trees curve their bodies to stop the wind to protect us. When a flood comes, trees slow down the flow to reduce the danger for us. The relationship between trees and us is limitless. He who has morality and wisdom will feel the connection between trees and man. Just some trees dropping their shadows on the yard can make us happy. Only some pieces of grass under our feet can make us cheerful. Yellow leaves falling down makes beautiful pictures for us. Petals of flowers falling and flying in the wind can make us some poems. Birds singing on the branches can give us a nice chorus. He who can love trees must be a very moral person. Especially when the deforestation is taking place nowadays fiercely. We should try to plant some more trees around the house to make a little more good karma for ourselves. He who can plant hundreds of hectares of forest will gain a big good fate and a long life in the future according to the law of karma. He can live sustainably without a catastrophic accident. Sages are the figures who can feel the simple spirit of a tree, so they do not want to harm any trees. He who can love green leaves will not be an average person. Chapter 14. Kindness. Kindness means to be ready to help others and to love helping others. This is opposite to one's own instinctive nature, which makes people become selfish and take care of themselves first. The kind people have a natural tendency to love helping others. It is a very long road for us to change our selfish nature to altruistic tendency, perhaps the beginning in many previous lives. If we look carefully into our heart, we will see that there is no tendency for helping people. It must come from a call to wake us and to think about helping the needy. Generally, we are not paying attention to take care of anyone else. We all know that if we can live beside a kind person, we will be very happy. That person will give us a hand when we are in need. That person will protect us when we are bullied. That person will be glad when we succeed. That person will console us when we fail. Even if we make mistakes, that person will not hate us. If there are many kind people around us, our life will be very happy. Everything above is true. But, there are two questions for us to think over. First, do we need to be kind to other people just as we want them to be kind to us? Second, what can we do to make everyone in the world be kind to each other? We need other people to be nice to us, and they also need us to be nice to them in return, but only 2 or 3 people being kind to each other will not be enough to make this world happy. We ourselves have to live kindly to others first, then our sincerity will help us to persuade other people to do the same. We daily tell ourselves that we must live kindly and helpfully to other people. We also pray for blessings from many gods and saints that we deify to support us in building the tendency to help people. We also admire other kind people, and the law of karma will build kind hearts in us. This world is mixed with good and evil together. This world is also our chance for us to fight with good in our hearts, and then we will leave for the next world to be judged. If the good wins, we will leave for a good and happy world. If the evil wins, we will leave for a bad and miserable world. The universe is always just. In this world of mixed of good and evil, if we can confirm our position for the good, we will pass a great exam of heaven and earth. Then we will be chosen for the next saintly world. In this good and evil world, if we can persuade many people to choose the good, we will become great and noble figures, and will be able to walk freely in angelic realms. At the beginning, we find it very difficult to be kind and to help a few people. Later, when we are acquainted with such kind living, we suddenly recognize that kindness is happiness. To live a kind life, we will spend a lot of time, money, labor, and mental effort. But in return, when we help others and make others happy, we immediately get our own happiness. Being aware of this, we will want to live kindly forever. Especially we will always call for people to live kindly with each other. Chapter 15. Sense of responsibility. In law and in philosophy, there are two things that always go together, duty and rights. When we fulfill our obligations, we deserve to receive some corresponding benefits. If we pay tax, duty, we deserve to live in a comfortable society, rights. If we do military service, duty, we deserve to live in a safe country, rights. Obligations and rights are fair and reasonable. Most selfish people search for benefits and avoid obligations. We want to be happy but do not want to give anything. That is immoral. The people who are average in morality will balance between devotion and enjoyment. After eating, we have to wash the dishes, but a highly moral person will prefer devotion to enjoyment. Prefer doing his duty than receiving benefits. He understands that the extra duties will become blessings for the future. He understands that the more he gives, the more happiness he gets. With such realization, a moral person always tries to take care of his or her community. They take care of their family considerately, they finish more office work than they are asked to, they notice their neighbors' needs and lend a hand before being asked. There is another reason that makes a person live responsibly. They love people. They love their family, they love their colleagues, they love their neighbors, they love their society, and they love their country. All of these loves make them like to take care of and help people around them. They not only finish their work but also strive to help others work. The father is earning money to support his family, but ready to give a hand with housework. Back home from the office, a clerk picks rubbish around his neighborhood. In his spare time, a businessman plants more trees for a forest. They all do more than they are obliged. They have love and are responsible. There are two factors to live responsibly. One is loving and the other is fulfilling one's duty for family and society. In addition, try to do more than one's own duty. What is duty? Generally, duty is to take care of the people's live. Duty is also to complete any work mandated in our society. If we want to live responsibly, and to take care of our people, we must give up many of our personal joys. He who debauched in his own joys will not be able to live responsibly. If he is addicted to alcohol, or gambling, or sexual desire, there is no place in his mind for his family or his country anymore. It is very hard to live responsibly. It is always hard at the beginning, but after a long time of living kindly, it will become joyful. A responsible person is giving joy to others, restraining his fun, and the law of karma will surely give him sweet fruits later. Chapter 16. Proportional Morality. There is a principle that everyone has to accept: the higher the position, the more virtuous the person must be. Teachers must be more ethical than their students. Parents must be more moral than their children. Monks must have more virtue than their followers. Leaders must have more dignity than their people. That principle, that requirement, is very fair, very natural. If we forget this principle, we will be rejected. If we do not have enough virtue compatible to our position, we will lose that position. In ancient times, kings were designated to be saints, saintly kings. It was a tribute to a king, but it was also a requirement of that king. The king stood in the highest position in a nation. And because of this, standing at the highest position, he was required to be of the highest virtue as well. What can we call a highest virtuous person, if not a saint? So, the king must be a saint. We are often affected by the Western viewpoint that considers everyone to be equal in the law, and therefore we consider that the citizens must be equal to the leaders. In practice, leaders differ from ordinary people very much. Everyone is human with the same basic needs, but the duty and character of a leader is very different. Because of their very different duty and position, leaders are required to have a very high morality compared to ordinary people. It is considered normal if any citizen steals. But it will be very serious if an official commits theft. It is clear to everyone that no one accepts an official committing theft. Obviously, people require an official to have a higher virtue. That is the principle of proportional morality. He who has chosen the path of being a government official must have a method to improve his own morality constantly, because it is the principle of proportional ethics. Morality will decline day after day if it is not cultivated, taken care of, and protected. The work of improving one's own morality needs a logical method which is scientific, psychological, and suited to the law of karma. Day after day, a government official must remind himself of the many necessary codes of ethics. I will be patient during hardship, love my people, constrain my greed, be loyal to my country. By saying this to ourselves every day, morality will become our nature. The belief in the fairness of karma is also an important factor of ethics. It is a shortcoming if we speak about morality without speaking about the law of karma. Karma is not only spiritual but also scientific. He who is moral must believe in karma. People will respect any official who believes deeply in karma. It is the power of the spirit which can connect people and their leaders. Officials must also have a method to keep calm enough to face many big issues daily. Officials have a large amount of duties to take care of, in which many difficulties will always happen. Their salaries are low. Their time is never enough. It is a big pressure on their psyche. If they do not have a firm virtue, they will easily change. Ethics comes from saints, ancestors, philosophers, and famous men. Ethics also come from normal people around us. Ethics also come from our wisdom. We can learn ethics from many sources, and we can apply them into our lives. We will improve our ethics until we see grateful looks in the eyes of the people around us. Chapter 17. The ideal life. Many people live without any purpose, only doing what must be done. Other people live with purposes that are mediocre or ordinary, caring for themselves only. There are also some people in minority that live with lofty goals. People who live with noble goals are living to serve, to give, to make others happy. We call them ideal people. Their ideals will be basically the same, like making lots of effort, and struggling to bring about the benefits of life. But they will differ in details. Some people choose medicine so they can cure the poor, accepting being a poor doctor too. Some people choose wildlife protection so they can preserve the biodiversity on Earth. Some choose agriculture to search for new ways to produce more food for society. Some choose the press because they want to praise the multiplication of good and oppose evil. Some choose being a monk because they hope that the precepts will help their life be purer and easier to do charity. Some choose being a government official because they realize that the ideal of their party is to live for people and for country. No matter whether it is practical or not, the ideal person has a flame in his or her heart to strive, study, and improve themselves. That ideal will urge them to study and train, rather than allow us to be lazy. That ideal will foster them to increase their virtue and not allow them to live selfishly. What does not meet that ideal will be rejected. Sometimes our ideals are so weak, and our bad habits are too strong, so that vice will kill the ideals. For example, a patriot who is fond of beautiful women. He served his country very well at first, but later, when he was snared by a girl, he became a traitor. Or a person who worked in a social service and was in charge of searching for jobs for the youth. But he was hot-tempered. Once, in a small quarrel, he quit, and let the whole system fail. If our ideal is strong enough, it will heal our heart from deficiencies, develop our skills, and make our life meaningful. If we want to have an ideal, we must first read the stories of the lives and works of famous people in the world, and raise true admiration for them. The more we admire lofty people, the more we gain ideals for our souls. We must be careful to distinguish between idealism and ambition. Idealism and ambition resemble each other in lofty goals, doing great work, affecting many people. But idealism is altruistic, and ambition is selfish. Idealism is to search for others' happiness. And ambition is to search for one's own glory. Idealism makes our heart become as lofty as a saint. Ambition destroys our soul, making us evil.
Chapter 18. Cooperation.
There are many things that we cannot do by ourselves. There are many tasks that need a hand from others. Humans are intelligent, so they know that they must give a hand to another to make a common, modern, and comfortable life for all. Other kinds of beings such as animals are less intelligent than humans, so their cooperation is limited. That we assess the level of intelligence based on the level of cooperation is absolutely correct. The more intelligent, the more humans tend to cooperation. On the contrary, the less cooperation, then the less intelligent they are. The basic cooperation of a human family is with their wife, husband, and children. If working on one's own, he or she will have a deprived life. Focusing on food, they will be deprived of clothes. Focusing on housing, they will be deprived of food. But gathering into a family, they can share tasks and increase their productivity. Their life also increases as well. 2 or 3 people can build a bigger house with bigger columns, higher roofs, and larger walls. If building by themselves, they can only build a little hut. Society progresses when the whole tribe cooperates in hunting, farming, building, training, and defense. They are safer in a larger community and cooperate more. Then the progress of a society leads to a larger population, and needs stronger rulers. People must live in a very big cooperative environment. The greater cooperation they have, the better progress their society makes, which is much more than in the tribal ages. Nowadays, whether directly or indirectly, humans are cooperating in this vast global community of integration. By paying taxes, we are demonstrating our cooperation to the whole nation. Big progress follows great cooperation in the world. We will witness the progress of the world until people can start to make robots which have their own intelligence. We turn back to direct cooperation around us. The cooperation in the world is only indirect for us. But direct cooperation around us is really our duty, our intelligence, and our morality. The more intelligent we are, the more we work towards cooperation. The more moral we are, the more we want to protect that cooperation with love for each other. There is a factor that makes cooperation unstable, and that is laziness. A lazy person always pushes works to others, losing the fairness, and ruins the cooperation. Another factor that makes cooperation unstable is to want to stand out in one's own community, to want to be a hero, to want to take credit for another's work, or to want to boast about oneself, not realizing the teammate's strong points, and only focusing on others' deficiencies, also destroys cooperation. Cooperation is not only intelligent, but also moral. Morality makes cooperation happy. Intelligence makes cooperation effective.
The Moral Foundation offers a clear, practical guide to understanding and cultivating morality. It explores core principles, trends, and levels of ethics, providing simple, actionable methods to apply in daily life. Thank you for your listening.